Hey everyone, it's Lindey. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to help you find what items can sell for you on eBay. Guys, I know, the struggle is real. When you're an entrepreneur and you know that you want to get into e-commerce, you know that there's items that you want to sell, but you can't decide what items you want to sell. Maybe you're a little bit all over the place. You're not exactly sure what particular niche you should get into. Maybe you have the opportunity to buy a wide variety of merchandise and you're just not exactly sure what to settle on. And I also wanted to go one step further. And if you are looking to source wholesale or liquidation, and you might have a manifest that you're looking at and you're not exactly sure how to decipher a manifest and do your product research to find out if that might be good merchandise to buy. We're gonna go over all of that today. I'm actually going to take you into my computer and I'm going to show you how I myself do the most basic product research that's out there. So the reason why I say the most basic is because there are a lot of sites out there that might cause you to pay for them, and they will give you a whole bunch of data and information and product research and all of this. But you guys, when you are just getting started on eBay, or if you already have a lot of experience with selling on eBay and you're just kind of looking to broaden your product research a little bit, you don't really need a lot of flash. Sometimes doing just the most basic general thing can help you more than you know. And we're gonna do that product research right on the eBay page. Because when you are doing comp research for items that you're looking to source, doing that product research on the platform that you intend to sell it on is the best thing for you to do. Because it doesn't do you any good to do product research for another site if you plan to sell the stuff on eBay. So if you want to sell something on Amazon, do product research on Amazon. If you want to sell it on eBay, do it on eBay. If you want to sell it on Poshmark or Mercari, do it on Poshmark or Mercari. You guys you see the theme. But today we're going to do product research on the eBay platform because my YouTube channel primarily talks about selling on the eBay platform, which, quick reminder, if you haven't already subscribed and selling items on eBay is something that interests you, please do make sure to subscribe. And while you're down there, please do give the video a thumbs up too if you appreciate my time in putting these kind of videos together to help you out. All right, so I know you guys are here, you want to get into the topic, so let's hop on over into my eBay account and I will show you how to do very, very basic product research on the eBay site. All right, so this first basic search that we're going to look at is strictly just for trying to narrow down a niche to see if there's a really good market, and then we'll kind of go back down the rabbit hole a little bit to look at specific products. So now going into showing you guys about general product research, I'm actually going to go back to my days of when I was selling jeans, because this was when I used product research the most, really, because I knew that I wanted to get into selling thrifted clothing, but I was trying to teach myself about a particular niche within that category, which is how I landed on jeans. And then I needed to educate myself a little bit more about things like brands that sell and the best sizes and the best kind of cuts of jeans to buy. So we're gonna kind of fall down that rabbit hole a little bit with the product research. So I want to show you what my thought process was when going through and researching about jeans. And the reason why I'm not doing it with health and beauty is because health and beauty is primarily liquidation. So it's not necessarily about finding a particular niche because I just buy in a certain category. So if you're wanting to do product researches about specific niches or categories, I feel like if I'm showing you in regards to something like clothing and jeans versus health and beauty, which is what I buy with liquidation, it just makes a little bit more sense to demonstrate it in this way. Also because I actually did this kind of research. So today I'm kind of duplicating the product research that I did years ago. So I just did a very basic search for women's jeans. I didn't include any brands, any sizes, no cut, nothing. It's super broad, super basic. And we can see here that there is 679,093 results for women's jeans. So obviously that's very, very broad, right? We know that there's a lot of listings. And so now let's kind of narrow down this product research a little bit more. We're gonna use the side item specifics in order to do that. But now I wanna go to style, right? Because right here, this tells us how many competing listings there are of these certain styles. So we have 679,000 1,000 listings. And here is how it breaks down into cuts. We could see what the most competitive markets are. Now, you might want to stay out of the competitive markets, or you might want to get in the competitive markets depending on sell-through rate. And we'll get to that in just a minute. So you guys probably know, if you followed my YouTube channel for years, one of my favorite cuts to sell was boyfriend, because that's how I found that the boyfriend cut at the time I was selling jeans had a really decent sell-through rate in regards to all of the other cuts. So let's kind of fall down that rabbit hole. So we're gonna only look at boyfriend cuts. So now with this term women's jeans, we only see 56,462 actual results out of 70,385 listings. I'm honestly not sure how that works. I wish I worked in the back end of eBay, because I would love to know how there's only 56,000 results when it says right here that there's 70,000 total. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but that point is kind of moot. Let's just fall down this rabbit hole. So what we want to pay attention to is sell-through rate of these kind of items. So we've got 56,462 actual listings. Now let's take a look and see how many items have actually sold over the last 90 days versus how many items are actually listed. So to do that, we're going to scroll down, and on the left-hand side, don't forget, there's going to be a lot of stuff that comes into play here too. New versus pre-owned. If you're doing thrifted clothing, obviously most of it's going to be pre-owned is what you're going to look at. But we're going to click on sold items. And so now we can see that there is 14,758 sold listings. And so now the solds are within the last 90 days. So there's currently 56,000 listed and 14,000 solds. So now we're actually going to bring up a calculator, because these are sales for the last 90 days. So I want to take 7,458 divided by 3 months. So that's an average of 4,919 sales per month of boyfriend jeans. So now we're going to take 4,919, which is an average. Remember, this is all general. This is all general. This is all average. This is not an exact science. We're just kind of using it to get an idea. We're going to take that average amount of boyfriend jeans that have sold on the site in the last 30 days, and we are going to divide it by the total number of boyfriend jeans that are currently listed, which rounds up to 0.09, which is 9%, because of course we moved the decimal, that gives us 9%. So boyfriend jeans roughly have a 9% sell-through rate, which is fair in clothing. You'd have to look at other categories to get a better idea. So let's take a look at another category. All right, let's take a look at bootcut jeans. So we can see bootcut jeans have a total of 226,956 active items. Let's take a look and find out how many have sold. So in the last 90 days, we have a total of 75,873 sold. So let's bring up our calculator again. 75,873 divided by 3 months. That is 25,291 sales in the last 30 days. So now let's get our sell-through rate. We have 25,291 sales in 30 days divided by 226,956 active listings. Remember, we move our decimal, that's 11% sell-through rate. So the sell-through rate of bootcut jeans is actually better than boyfriend jeans. So this is all what product research is. This is learning what sells better than something else. So right there, that's an example of how you find out what style will sell better than another style. And now I want to take it one step further, and I want to find out what kind of brands of bootcut have the better sell-through rate. So since we know that bootcut has a better sell-through rate than boyfriend, we're just going to stick with bootcut. So leave that little box checked. Come down here. We're going to uncheck the solds because we don't want to look at solds right now, because we need to know the active number versus the sold number in order to find the sell-through rate. So we're going to stay in bootcut, so keep that checked. And I want to do see all, because I want to see all of the brands that are eligible for the drop down. And so now this part can be very, very helpful for you, because if you're able to go deep into a brand, like let's say you're able to get wholesale for Levi's or wholesale of Miss Me jeans or of a particular brand, before you go deep and buy into that brand, you can use this as a way to figure out the sell-through rate of that brand to see if it's worth it. So let's look at Levi's. I want to look at Levi's because I always sold a lot of Levi's. So let's go to, where did it go? So Levi's. So we're going to check this box for Levi's and we're going to hit apply. Okay, now remember, we are filtered down here. We have Levi's and bootcut. So right now we see that there are 25,519 active bootcut Levi's women's jeans. Remember, we're looking at women's jeans, bootcut, Levi's. There's currently 25,519 active listings available for sale. So now let's find the sell-through rate to see how well Levi's bootcut jeans are selling through right now. So in order to do that, we need to see the solds. There are 8,856. And then just for curiosity's sake, we can see that 1,581 of those are new with tags. The majority are pre-owned. So there is 8,856 sold, but over 7,000 of them are pre-owned. So that tells me that in Levi's, pre-owned does have a market because the majority of the solds are pre-owned. They're not new. So what this can tell you is if you did want to sell Levi's women jeans, if they were boot cut, were you wanting to focus on new with tags or were you wanting to focus on pre-owned? Because if this number were flip-flopped, that kind of information would tell you if you were going to sell Levi's, they were going to be women's and they were going to be boot cut, you would want to focus more on new with tags because more new with tags of that style and brand are selling than pre-owned. But the reverse is true here. So this tells us that it's actually pre-owned that are selling more than new with tags. So there is a market for that. But now let's see what the actual sell-through rate is. We need to know what the 30 days are, not the 90 days. I always like to look at 30 days versus 90 days. So the 90-day total solds was 8,856 divided by 3 months. That's 2,952. Now let's go find our 30-day sell-through rate. We got 2,952 divided by the total number of active listings is 0.115. So that is 11.5%. So the sell-through rate of women's Levi's bootcut jeans is 11.5%, which again is pretty decent for clothing. So this basically tells you that out of every 100 pairs that's listed, 11 will sell after 30 days. Again, this is all very general. It's just to kind of give you an idea. It's just some basic product research to help you try to decide exactly where you should be sourcing in a certain category. And this, of course, is something that you could do just to kind of get familiar until you learn a new category that you're wanting to sell in. That way, if you're outsourcing and you have a particular brand, you kind of know what you're looking for. And I did this in my free time when I was trying to decide what kind of jeans I should sell. That way, when I got to the store, I kind of knew what I was looking for. When I was flipping through the racks for jeans, I would say to myself, okay, I know that this brand has a decent sell-through rate. What's the cut? And you just take literal notes. You just say, okay, boot cut Levi's have an 11% sell-through rate. Skinny Levi's have this sell-through rate. Boyfriend jeans have this general sell-through rate. And you don't have to go so specific that you're looking at specific brands. You could just look at different cuts. And this kind of research you can also do in the moment when you're outsourcing as well. If you're outsourcing, maybe you're at a thrift, you can bring up your phone and you could do a basic search and you could see how many of those items are actively listed. And then you can go into your filters and you could say, okay, how many of these items have actually sold? And you could bring up your calculator and you can do the sell-through rate. I always like to look at the sell-through rate for 30 days versus 90 days. That's why I always take the total sold number and I divide it by 3 so that I can know approximately how many sell in 1 month. But this is how you figure out sell-through rate. This is how you do basic research on the platform that you want to sell something on to find out how long it could possibly sit or how fast it could potentially sell. You essentially take the number of sold items in the last 30 days and you divide it by the number of current active listings that there are on the platform. You take that decimal, you move it into a percentage, and that gives you your sell-through rate. So for instance, if you're looking up something that has 100 active listings and 5 have sold, you would take out your calculator and you would do 5 divided by 100. That gets you 0.05, and you convert that into a percentage, what gives you a 5% sell-through rate. But of course, sell-through rate really does vary depending on the category that you're looking at. And the more product research you do, the more you'll start to realize what a good sell-through rate is and what a bad sell-through rate is. And there really is no perfect sell-through rate to shoot for. It can vary depending on the time of year. It can vary depend on your region. So you just kind of have to go with your gut and do the research. Okay, so now I want to get in to show you how to do comp research if you're looking at a wholesale product or if you're looking at a manifest wanting to know if you should buy that wholesale or liquidation order. But before I do that, I want to take just a minute to thank the sponsor of today's video, because without sponsors on my YouTube channel, I wouldn't be able to bring you guys content so regularly. Wholesale Ninjas has been a longtime supporter of my YouTube channel. I actually stumbled upon their liquidation site about a year and a half ago now, when I was on a mission to find the most reputable sources that I could for inventory to put in my eBay store. I feel like they go a step above and beyond when it comes to the wholesale and liquidation world, because they really take an extra step in having good quality control and consistency in the products that they provide resellers. They accommodate a really wide variety of sellers, whether you're just getting started with liquidation and you're just buying the small 100 count boxes, all the way up into pallets and truckloads. They also make buying pallets a lot more accessible to resellers because they offer what's called a pallet breakdown service. Now, it's not available on every pallet that they sell, but on the applicable pallets, what they actually do is for a flat fee, they will actually break down the pallet and put it into smaller, more manageable boxes and ship those boxes via ground, versus having to pay for expensive freight prices, have a giant truck deliver a huge pallet and having to find some place to put it. It's a lot less intimidating to buy pallets when you have them arrive in boxes versus having a giant pallet staring at you in the face. They're also really consistent with their quality control. Their merchandise always arrives impeccably packaged, so there's very little breakage. I just feel like Wholesale Ninjas is a gem in the liquidation world, because the world of liquidation can be a scary place for resellers, because there's the very real opportunity that you can spend money on merchandise that's not sellable, because maybe it's a customer return, maybe it got broken. A lot of the times you buy stuff like that sight unseen and it's an as-is sale. But with my experience in Wholesale Ninjas, almost everything that I receive arrives in sellable condition, and I feel like that takes them a step beyond a lot of other companies that are out there right now. As I mentioned, I've partnered with Wholesale Ninjas for well over a year, and I do have an active coupon code. The code is Lindey25, and it gets you $25 off of anything on their site. I will put it all down in the video description, as well as some links to my favorite lots that they have. And thank you again to Wholesale Ninjas for partnering with me and sponsoring today's video. So now let's say you have the opportunity to buy a particular product, whether you are looking at a wholesale order or you're wanting to do a liquidation box and you have a manifest, or maybe you're even just at a thrift store, or you're looking on Facebook Marketplace and you stumble across something that you could potentially buy and sell for profit. Let me show you how to do proper comp research to make sure that you can actually make money on it. So let's head back into my computer and take a look. I want to use this lotion as an example, actually, because this lotion was actually something that I received a while back in a Wholesale Ninjas liquidation order, and I sold one because the value was good, and then I kept one for myself because it smelled really, really good. But let me show you how to do comp research of this lotion. So now this is a flamingo body lotion, and it has white willow bark. So now, of course, here in the search bar, I could just search flamingo body lotion, or because there is a barcode, I could just type in the barcode number, or if I had my barcode scanner, I could just scan the barcode and search it that way. But I am just gonna go ahead and type it out. So we're gonna look at flamingo body lotion, white willow bark, And I'm gonna put the ounces too, because I wanna know that I'm comparing, you know, apples to apples, the proper sizes. So now I do automatically have the solds checked because we were doing the other comp research. So the solds are important, but the actives are also just as important. That's something else that I don't think a lot of people realize. A lot of people when doing comp research really only like to look at the sold listings, but knowing what the current active listings are equally as important, because you need to know what the sold price is in order to get a realistic sales price, but you need to know what your current active competition is actually selling it for, so you know how long your item might sit or how fast it could sell. So since the sold box is already checked, let's just take a look at what we've got for solds. So we have someone sold 3 for roughly $35, 2 for $17.77 plus shipping. So, you know, roughly what, $27, give or take, because of the change. So 2 for $27, 2 for $22. Someone took a best offer here, so we'll just say 2 for $20, 2 for $20, 1 for $13. I'm gonna say that comps are roughly $12 for a single bottle, for just a single. But now we need to take a look and see what our current active competition is doing. We'll also probably make note here that 6 have sold. So we'll just make a quick note of that, because when we look at the actives, we want to know how many are active versus how many are sold. So the sell-through rate's pretty decent because there's only 11 active listings for it. So using that same thing that we did before, so 6 sold divided by 3 months, that's 2. 2 divided by 11, 18% sell-through rate. Move the decimal, 18% sell-through rate. So that basically means that for every 5 that are listed, 1 will sell a month. So it's not too bad. It's not great, but it's not too bad. So our current active competition is priced about the same. This person is, man, they want $12.99 plus shipping for 1 single bottle. So our active competition, this is what I'm getting. The active competition is trying to bring the price up, which is a good thing, because the last thing sellers want to see is a price tanking. Like every time someone tries to compete on price and they just go a little bit below the next person, a little bit below the next person, and the price just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping, then before you know it, the market price is at the ground floor. When I first sold this, the price was about $20 a bottle. My heart kind of stopped a little bit when I saw that the average price was $12 sold for these. I'm kind of like, because when I sold this, it was $20. So I see sellers trying to bring the price back up, which if you're one of the sellers trying to sell this lotion and you were one of the ones trying to bring the price back up, good on you. Thank you for that. We need more sellers like you because prices tank way too fast here. And so now let's try to decide if this is a good item to buy or not, because yes, the sell-through rate is decent. Yeah, the price is good, but what's the cost of goods? Let's figure out if this is a good item to buy or not. And to do that, I'm gonna use the Sale Calc app. Now, the numbers inside this app, I don't think are 100% accurate, because with the managed payments thing switching and the final value fee percentage changing because of eBay managed payments, I don't think that all of the calculations within this app are 100% accurate, but it's gonna give us just an idea. It's just gonna give us an idea. And I do think that the Sale Calc app is only in the Apple Store, but there are similar apps in the Android Store or the Google Play Store. So if you don't have access to the Sale Calc app specifically, there are similar apps out there, so just so you know. So let's say realistically, because of all of these comparable prices, let's say I think I can sell this for $19. So I'm gonna estimate a sale price of $19, including the shipping cost. Now let's say that the cost of goods is $2. Right? Let's say you can get these for $2 a piece. I also say $2 because that's a typical price at Wholesale Ninjas, about $2. Let's estimate the shipping cost. So this is a 10 fluid ounce bottle, and it's not full now, but I was able to ship the other one first class. It was just under a pound with all of the packaging. So let's estimate the shipping cost to be about $5.50. And now we're going to hit results to calculate. And that's gonna tell me that the net profit with that sell price, that estimated shipping cost, and that estimated cost of goods will bring me a net profit of $8.91. So in my opinion, yes, this is definitely a good buy. But now let's pretend like you didn't get this at Wholesale Ninjas. Let's say you had to pay more than $2 for it. Maybe let's say that it's more of like a wholesale price. So let's say wholesale, you have to pay $8 for it. Let's say $8 is the wholesale price, because I've brought this up to you guys before. Liquidation price and wholesale price are wildly different. Wholesale price is crazy expensive because wholesale, you're making a very, very slim margin because you are buying brand new, pristine condition merchandise. So let's say the price is $8 for this, but you only think you can sell it for $19 on the low side, right? So now we've switched $2 with $8. Let's hit results. Okay, so now this is a lot different picture, right? So now if the cost of goods is $8 and we can only sell it for $19 with all of the other estimated fees, the estimated shipping, and the $8 cost of goods, now our net profit is only $2.91. So that's when you would have to consider, okay, is paying $8 for this and getting a $2.91 return gonna be worth it for me? But that in a nutshell is kind of how you do comp research when you're looking at wholesale products or if you're checking manifests. So if you were checking a manifest, this is exactly what I do when I will look at a manifest, especially if the price is higher than $2 an item, which, spoiler alert, I don't like to pay more than $2 an item for anything that I resell. I try to keep the prices as low as I can. And so if anything is over $2 a unit, you bet your butt I'm gonna double check every single thing on the manifest and make sure that it's a good buy. But what I will do is I will go line by line on a manifest and I will do a search just like I showed you, and I will plug numbers into that app to be like, okay, what kind of profit can I actually make on that item? Am I gonna make $1 profit? Am I gonna make $8 profit? Am I going to lose money? Because that can happen. If you look at a manifest and the price is really high, like let's say that it was an $8 cost of goods for this item, but the current comps reflected that, yeah, you could only sell this for $12. Doing a basic comp research will save you from wasting a whole bunch of money, because $8 for this is way too much if you can only sell it for $12, but you don't know that unless you do the comp research. But all right, you guys, I hope that you found this video helpful. I really hope that it wasn't too confusing. I was really worried about doing this kind of video because I know that when you are doing percentages and calculating sell-through rate and looking at a whole bunch of different factors, I know that it's a lot of information just getting like thrown at you all at once, and I know that it can be overwhelming and confusing. So hopefully, maybe if you watch this video more than once, it'll kind of help you to start to, figure out how to do that product research, calculate sell-through rate, try to figure out how to narrow down on a niche for yourself, how to find the kind of items that will sell for you, know what to look for, all of that good stuff. Hopefully you found something useful in this video. If you did, please do make sure to hit the thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and ring the notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post a new video. Don't forget to check the video description. I will put a lot of useful information in there for you. And don't forget to leave me any questions or comments down in the comment section. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you guys with my next video. Bye-bye.